Welcome to the Rotary Time Show, a public service program presented by Rotary District 7610, Virginia. On our programs, we talk with Rotarians and community leaders and discuss how Rotary International builds partnerships to support local, national, and world communities. I'm your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. One of the 7 areas of focus in Rotary is basic education and literacy. Its goal is to strengthen the capacity of communities to support education and literacy needs, reduce gender disparity in education, and increase adult literacy. Joining me remotely today is Hallye Smith, the director of the Falls Church-McLean Children's Center. She is joining us to share highlights of this amazing children's program that provides a comprehensive, high-quality early childhood program for young children to meet future educational needs. Welcome, Hallye, to the Rotary Time Show.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you today about our wonderful program.
Well, I know you've partnered with many organizations within the McLean Falls Church community, and you just are doing some amazing work over there, and we just wanted to make sure that the community had an opportunity to hear about some of the things you're doing. So let's get started. But before we do that, let's talk about Hallye. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, your education, your background.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm actually originally from Texas, and I've worked in private schools, public schools, and nonprofit organizations in Texas, California, and Virginia. I have a Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood Education with a minor in Special Education from Texas Tech University, and a Master of Science in Child Development from Texas Women's University. So I have been in this particular position since March of 2022, and just fell in love with the mission of Falls Church-McLean Children's Center, and that's the main reason that I was interested in coming on board and taken to the center to the next step and continuing the wonderful education that they've been providing since 1968.
Sounds like a winner. Tell us about this center. What's the center's story?
It has a very unique story. So back in October of 1967, or around that time, 27 churches and synagogues and other faith-based organizations came together because they saw an article on how single moms are having a hard time finding quality, reasonable childcare or childcare where they could receive tuition assistance. And with all of these organizations that came together, they started Falls Church-McLean Children's Center, and the center opened its doors in October of 1968 at one of the faith-based organizations in their basement, and was there for a long time until 2002, when we moved to our current location that's actually inside Lemon Road Elementary. We're not part of Fairfax County Public Schools, but we do have a space within one of their schools. And so we've been here since 2002 and have been serving children ever since.
Wonderful. So what's your role at the center, and what's the personal connection that really made you connect with its mission?
Perfect. So I am the executive director at Falls Church-McLean Children's Center, and it is the mission. It was a lot what brought me here, of course, as I came for the interview process and learning more. It's also the people and the programs that this center provides that really was exciting to me. Our mission is that we provide a high quality, comprehensive early childhood program regardless of families' economic resources, so that all children that leave our center have a strong foundation on which to build the rest of their lives.
Wonderful. So you've kind of been around almost, what, 40 some years, or 50, almost 50 some?
We're going years? Up on 55 years
yeah.
In October. So it's been a very long time. And just to think of the hundreds and hundreds of kids that have come through our door, and something that's unique now that we're at this age of the program is that we have some parents coming to bring their own children here that came to our preschool themselves.
I was getting ready to say, have you had an opportunity now to serve some of the children that you all had? Wow, that is
Exactly. And it's so
amazing.
exciting to kind of see that in their experiences and what they remember. We've had teachers here for 10, 20 plus years that currently are still here. So it's been a program that's been around for a long time, but it really has grown in strength because of all of our community partnerships that also, that have helped us support us over the years, not only the organizations that started us, but other organizations as well.
Hallie, talk about the kinds of programs the center offers. Give us some examples.
That's a great question. So we offer several programs. One is speech and language therapy. And so for our students that might need a little extra support on their articulation, on hearing of the sounds, and getting their tongue in the right placement, to make sure that they can hear and say the sounds correctly, which is so important as you begin those intro reading skills. We provide that free of charge to our students that need it. We also provide parent workshops throughout the year that's provided for our parents. And really what's unique about that is we let the parents choose the topics. So we usually have a routines and kind of an introduction parent workshop in September. And then we ask the parents, what do you need as a parent? What kind of information would you like to know more about? And so the last two workshops have covered sibling rivalry and co-regulation and regulation and strategies on how parents can help their children at home. And we correlate that to what's happening in our program. We also provide play therapy. So for children that are going through some kind of life-changing experience or just need some help with something that they might be struggling with, we provide free play therapy, and these are all done in coordination with different organizations in the area. And then this year, we coordinated with the Eastern Region Association of Forest and Nature Schools and became the first preschool in the nation to participate in a Forest Days program. And so that program really was connecting our school and our teachers and our students to how you can learn outside, that we can learn inside and we can learn outside. And so that's bringing also children a connection back to nature. And even as young as 2 years old, children can start being environmental stewards and helping to protect the planet that we live in for years to come. So those are a few of the programs. We also use different project-based curriculum, which we might get to a little bit later.
And yeah, I was going to say, we'll get into that a little bit later. I was just thinking, I wish you were around when my 3 adult children were around. I would love to have had some assistance with sibling rivalry. In fact, I'm thinking I might could still benefit from it with those 3. But thank you. What's the demographics or the age range of the students that you serve?
So we really serve Fairfax County. We have some students that also come from Arlington County as far as our geographics. We have children from all over the world that come to our center, and that's based really on the area we live in and in the Washington, D.C. area. And we start, the youngest we can take is 20 months. And then we go up to children entering kindergarten. And we also have an aftercare program for students at Lemon Road Elementary. And what's great about that is that for our preschool students that actually go on to Lemon Road Elementary, which is right next door to us, they can come back to us for aftercare. So we can see them growing up past kindergarten, and that's something unique and special as well.
That's wonderful. And I love the fact that you all have the aftercare inside of the building that serves the community, the regular school community. And does that replace what they call SAC? I know on the public side, the elementary schools have something called SAC. Is that similar to what you have as well?
It's similar.
Okay.
It's similar. We're not, we don't have the exact same program, but it is a similar program where students can come from 3 to 6 p.m. They do register, so we have a max amount of students that can register per year. But it's the same kind of concept of coming in and having some free play time, some outside time, some social emotional time with friends until their parents can pick them up at 6 o'clock. Or sometimes they might pick them up a little bit sooner.
That works. How many students do you serve at the school?
So we have a maximum of 80 students in our preschool program and a maximum of 16 students in our aftercare program. Something that's unique about our class sizes too is that we're below state standard ratios and we have 3 teachers in every class. So in our 2-year-old program, we have 3 teachers to 12 students. In our 3-year-old program, we have 3 teachers to 16 students. In our 4-year-old program, we have 3 teachers to 18 students. And we always have 1 teacher in every class that is Spanish speaking.
Oh, wonderful. Is that something that you offer as well to students, is an opportunity to learn the language?
That's a great question. We're not a bilingual program. It really is most of our students that come to us with English not as their first language. It usually is Spanish speaking. And so it's to help them as they're learning that transition to English. For our students that don't speak Spanish and come from all over the world with different languages, we do have different translation kind of apps that the parents and teachers can use, as well as with the students. We have something called the Talking Points app, which is really wonderful, where teachers can send messages to the families in English, and then the families choose whatever language they would like to receive that message in. And so that way the communication is very clear between school and home.
That's wonderful. Do you offer technology support to the students in the school, as young as they are, or because I'm hearing that 2-year-olds now can operate computers?
So we are a play-based program, and so that is where we really feel like children learn best is through hands-on learning. So the technology might come in as far as what our teachers might use to communicate with parents, or as they're documenting the learning of the children. But our children do not use iPads as part of their learning. It is all hands-on learning here.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I have a grandson. I wish someone would take his iPad because he's always on it, you know.
There's no TVs and no iPads.
Okay.
We're here to learn through reading and writing and hands-on materials in all subject areas.
Just being creative, allowing the kids to be creative.
Very much so.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I want to talk to you, and when we come back from break, about your curriculum and how that works, because you just mentioned something about being creative, and we'd love to hear how that works in your school for kids of the future. So we're going to take a short break and be right back and talk more with Hallye Smith. Please stay with us.
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
Welcome back to the Rotary Times. We're here talking with Hallye Smith, the director of the Falls Church-McLean Children's Center. Hallye, I've just heard you speak about some amazing things that are going on in that building over at Lemon Road Elementary School. I think it's wonderful. But let's talk about the curriculum there. I know you spoke of it being very creative. Tell us about the curriculum.
So we use creative curriculum, and it is a project-based approach curriculum that is interdisciplinary, that goes over and kind of covers all subject areas. And so it can vary from a deep dive into clothes, baking, bread, gardening, which is something we're doing right now. So the teachers take off the children's interest and then dive into those interest and curiosity questions for usually 4 to 5 weeks, possibly longer, depending on their interest. And so I can go over a few of the things we've done with that. So one of our 4-year-old classes was really working on clothes. How are clothes made? where do clothes come from? And they develop all these questions on what they want to know about clothes. And then through that, the teachers use their curiosity and questions, and they go through as a class through their learning process to answer those questions. And what was really unique is at the end of this study, we have our own school bus. We go on our field trips every month. They went to Joann's Fabrics to go and really study and look at the different types of fabrics, and the kids made up a scavenger hunt on what kind of fabric they might find there. Another one is gardening, and we actually have garden plots at our school, and so the children do a whole gardening unit, and then they go outside and plant things, and that can be flowers, potatoes. They can use that in cooking projects. So it's something where it's based off their interest, but it covers, the social studies, the science, the art, math, reading, literacy, social emotional learning, and the teachers document how they're learning through anecdotal records and pictures, and then upload it to our teaching strategies, creative curriculum kind of portal, where we can look at how the children are learning and where they're learning, and where we can help those children go to the next step in their learning to prepare them for kindergarten.
That's interesting. So how do you make connections with those areas that apply to literacy, reading, and math? How do you ensure that the kids are still making those connections to those things?
Yeah, so of course, reading books is a huge part of our program, but it's also working on letter sound knowledge, and the difference between an uppercase and lowercase letter, and then looking as they're doing that, how that's soon going to connect to reading when they get to kindergarten.
Okay. And the math, that's similar?
Very similar. It starts with patterns, and it starts with understanding what a number is, how to count, what numbers look like, what happens when you add things together as you're playing. And so it's starting all those foundational skills as they move on into kindergarten and beyond to build on that.
Wow. Do you ever get a chance to talk to, since you're right there in an elementary facility, do you ever get a chance to talk to the teachers on the other side of the building, to share what you're doing, to see how the two are aligning and marrying, and if they're seeing the success of what you're doing when the kids get on their side?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I've been in my position about a year, and that's actually kind of next on my list. Now that I've been here a year and really looked at what we do here, that's actually on my to-do list to connect. We have a very good partnership with the elementary school next door, and I look at doing that in the fall to kind of see how we connect and how it's been working over my first year here in the program, and how we can connect together to help our children in the future.
Yeah, that would be, I'd love to have you come back and talk more about that connection, to see the continuum and how it's playing out.
I would love to come and talk and continue about what's happening.
How about a great success story from a family that you are aware of over the course of the time that you've been there?
There's so many success stories, and it's hard to just pick one. I can think of when parents come in and they've achieved something academically that helps their family, and supporting their family is definitely a success story. When children that it might be part of our speech and language therapy and really working on enunciating their sounds, and then they come into their office and you see the huge improvement that's going to help them as they go forward to connecting through their communication and through their reading skills. I think it's definitely success stories of, we just had one of our our preschool celebrations yesterday with one of our 4-year-old classes, and really celebrating their success over the course of this year, and how they're going to kindergarten in just a few months and won't be with us anymore. So there's so many success stories that happen on a regular basis, success stories of our teachers that are also continuing their education and celebrating with them when they've reached a milestone in their degrees as well.
Wow. Let's talk about your funding, because we all know in education we struggle, and I'm a former educator, so I know about those struggles for to have sufficient funds to do the kinds of things we want to do with our students and for our students. What portion of your funding comes from the community or other places?
So our funding comes from three main areas. Definitely individual contributions, organizations that contribute to us as a whole, and grants. And of course, we've got tuition as part of that, but really funding and helping us achieve everything we need to achieve definitely comes from the donations through different parts of our community and grants.
Okay. So if someone wanted to know more about your school and how they can support your school through volunteer efforts or whatever, where might they go?
Definitely, please go to our website, www.fcmlcc.org. There's a lot of wonderful information on the website, but also contact information for those that are interested in supporting us through volunteer efforts. We love volunteers to come to our program and to learn more about us. And those volunteer opportunities can be someone that volunteers on a regular basis all the time, or maybe they want to volunteer a certain expertise of theirs, or if they want to just be on the volunteer list. So when we have a big event or something that we need help with, that we can reach out and they come in that way as well. So there's lots of opportunities to come and volunteer, and we definitely would love for anyone out there that might be looking for that opportunity to reach out to us and give us a call, and we'd happy to work with them on kind of what they're looking at and what might work for both of us.
Give us an example. I know in my club, when we read down at the elementary school, sometimes I have a hard time getting my older members to sign up because they're a little nervous about going in to volunteer with the elementary school. High school and ethics days, not a problem. What might they be doing? What are some of your volunteer opportunities look like?
They can be an array of volunteer opportunities. So sometimes we'll have volunteers. We do get contributions for our snack program. So sometimes volunteers will go and actually help us purchase snack and going to the grocery stores and things like that. Other volunteers might want to be in the classroom and volunteering in the classrooms, whether it's reading or playing with the children or different aspects of the classroom. Some like to help us with office work. There are times when we might need things organized or might need help out in the office, and so volunteers that are interested in the aspect can do that as well. So they can start in one area, and then as they gain confidence and working and being around smaller children, can move into other areas.
So they should not be afraid of those little ones.
No, not at all. Our students love volunteers. They love having visitors. And it adds to our program. It really does. And, like when I was talking earlier about a creative curriculum, sometimes they might have an expertise, like in the gardening curriculum. One time we had a beekeeper come and explain beekeeping because they had that expertise. And so that's another way they can volunteer.
Wow, I love that. What might you say are your most immediate needs?
Most immediate needs. At this point, I think definitely looking at, we would love to expand our board members, and we are looking for new board members. So that's something, if anyone out there is interested in working on a board and interested in learning more about early childhood education, I would definitely like them to contact us about that. Any volunteer needs or support needs that we have, contacting us and we can go into depth on what that might be, would be great as well. All contributions and support help our program. So as people call us with their expertise or ideas they have or things they might be able to help with, then we connect with them on that.
That's wonderful. I like that, especially when you have some real idea about what people can do, so that individual who's not comfortable yet about going with the little ones, it takes a comfort level to be with the little ones, especially the 2 and 3-year-olds.
It could be just helping us like set up for an event that we might have coming up,
yeah.
and being around the kids and just slowly getting to know our program and what we do is a great way to do it as well.
Sounds like a winner. What can you tell our audience if they just want to call you up? They just get on the phone and call and ask for you? And
yes, they can call
or
and
you'll
ask
do
for myself
you'll go out
or
for
our assistant
presentations.
director, Megan
Okay.
Ling,
Mhm.
and both of us can help out with whatever questions they have and what they might be interested in.
That sounds like a winner. I know the McLean Rotary Club had a wonderful presentation by you and your staff. So I would encourage other clubs or other organizations out there to reach out to you and learn more about the school and what they can do for the school. I know I learned a lot, and thank you, for that. Okay, so I'm going to hold you to coming back to see us in the future and giving us an update on the kiddos and where they're headed. And by then you will have had an opportunity to coordinate and collaborate with the other side, of the school side, and see where you're headed. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Great. Okay. Funding for this program is made possible by the generosity of Bailey's Crossroads Rotary Club, Virginia. For the Rotary Times program, I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. You're welcome to join us at a Rotary Club in your area for either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can find a club near you by looking us up on the internet. Many clubs are hosting meetings in person, virtually, or in some hybrid format. You only need to look us up for details. Remember, our time is your time and is time well spent. Please join us for our next program as we continue to celebrate Rotary's 117 years of service above self.